Hello everybody, back for another video. So this one, staying on the theme of Jesus and who he is, I'm titling this one, Jesus is Your Lawyer. That's the way I like to look at, Jesus because, again, notes over here. He died as a sacrifice and was raised from the dead as a sacrifice for your sin. All your sins. It makes you clean. It washes you clean. He is not sin, and this can be confusing. Like people will say, "Well, Jesus is sin, so he is sin, covers your sin, so he is sin." He's not sin. Jesus is sinless. He is a sacrifice for your sin because he's the only one who can be. He's pure and he's clean and he's righteous. And if he blots out sin, he is a sacrifice. So to clear that up. And sometimes it can be confusing, like because he took on our sin as a sacrifice, your mind as a human might, oh, well, then he becomes sin. You will hear pastors say that. And that was confusing to me for some years too. And then, I've kind of God got me right with that, I believe, recently even. And it's not something I even dwelled on, but he is not sin. Jesus is not sin. Jesus is sinless. He has no sin. And that's why he can become a pure sacrifice and cover you, and his blood covers you. So in that way, I like to look at it as Jesus is your lawyer. When you're in court, pro bono, and to look this definition up. I mean, I know what pro bono, I'm looking it up for this specifically to tell you what that means. Pro bono means free. So basic definition is for the public good, involves providing free services to those in need. What it basically is saying is Jesus is free. He has free services. He's a free lawyer. He covers you in all your sin. You don't need to pay him. The payment is that he died for you and rose again for you. He's your defender, and he's pure, and he's your pure defender. He does it when God ultimately judges you, the Father and Jesus. He doesn't see your sin. He sees if you believe in Jesus, and that's why I said in the last video that people who say that, oh, well, you can get to heaven without Jesus. Well, if you get to heaven without Jesus, then God's looking at you, and he's looking at every single thing you've done in your life. Your sin, everything that's bad. And because Jesus isn't standing in front of you, he's not going to let someone who has sin into heaven. Jesus stands in front of you, and as a Christian, he's looking through his pure son, his son who has no sin, to us. We were called to Jesus, to the Father through Jesus. So he's not looking at us. I mean, he knows who we are, God, obviously, but he's looking through his son, and as a filter, as your lawyer, as someone who has defended you and you believe in and aren't ashamed of. And I always love that to think about it like that. But specifically, calling him your lawyer is great. People might not dig lawyers, but he's the best lawyer you can possibly have. He's free, and it's free services, and you're in heaven through him. So Perry Mason, eat your heart out. Perry Mason. I really am 90 years old. So that's basically how I'm looking at that. And again, it's more of this is not a long video this time. I just wanted to say that because it was on my mind about, Jesus in defending you basically. And it's been on my mind specifically about pastors who will say, again, deny that you can get into heaven. Will say you can get into heaven without Jesus because God will look at everything you've done without Jesus. And it's not, you don't want that. You want Jesus as your defender. You want to believe in him, ask him into your heart, and know that he's the Son of God and rose from the dead for your sins and was a sacrifice for your sins. Not sin, but a sacrifice, a pure sacrifice for your sins. Know that that's the way. And that is the Christian belief. And as a Christian, you can't deny that in front of people. You can't do it because you can, but ultimately that's not your best move. It's not your best chess move. So just know that. Just know you have a defender in Jesus, and he will take on your burdens. And as he says, his yoke is easy. He will take on. Just pray to him and ask him to take the bad from you, and he'll be with you every step of the way. And he'll also be with you in court the minute you die, and that's what you want. I promise you. All right, I'm out. Always go with Jesus. Later.